Hi everyone, Linda from Let's Talk Prepping, and what I want to do tonight is to talk to you about the demise of the US dollar, and if we can tell if it's going to come about, and how it might happen, and what signs there might be to show us that it is happening, and of course, if it does happen, what you might be able to do to protect yourself, because that's really important. So what's changed now? Why am I saying that the US dollar might just disappear, go through hyperinflation? What is it now that has changed? So many people say, oh, the dollar, nothing's ever happened to it. It's going to be fine. So let's talk about it. First of all, it's always been the reserve currency, or the petrodollar, as it's been called. So we've been allowed to print money at will because other countries needed the dollar to buy oil and for international trade. So they had to get that dollar somehow. So they had to either trade with us to get it. They had to maybe take a loan out, buy treasury bonds or something to get the US dollar. They had to buy dollars. Some way they had to get dollars so they could trade for oil, because we had that agreement with Saudi Arabia. We'll protect you if you only sell oil in dollars. And that's why it's always been called the petrodollar. Well, now all that has changed because the Saudis have now started selling oil in other currencies. They're selling it in the Chinese yuan. I never know if I say that right. Y-U-A-N, yuan. In gold and even Bitcoin, although maybe now not in Bitcoin after that collapse we just had. So the demise of the dollar is closer than ever, because once they start selling oil in other currencies, the other countries don't need to buy our dollar to buy oil. And then the trade now. So this means the demise of the dollar is closer than ever. And what it's going to mean is hyperinflation here. That's basically what it's going to mean. The other thing that's causing me to worry about the dollar and if it's going to be worth anything are the BRIC nations. Now, the BRIC nations, more and more nations are joining or asking to join, and they want to have their own currency. And their currency is going to be backed by gold and commodities. So if you had a choice, would you use the BRIC currency or would you use the US dollar, which is not backed by anything except maybe the goodwill of the US government, the faith and credit of the US government? So what will happen when the BRICS start their own currency? Everything will start being traded in the BRIC currency. And as other countries have watched the U.S. and seen that we've seized assets from countries that we disagree with, that we've put sanctions on countries, and they're going to say, I'm going to join the BRICS and use their currency. So it is closer than you think. Is it imminent? That's kind of hard to say. The war in Ukraine has helped, since Russia now has to use a new way of paying instead of the SWIFT system. So they have this new way of paying for international trade. So that has started. That has been flourishing. Other countries now have the courage to go against the U.S., which never happened before. So what signs will we see if the collapse of the dollar is near? Well, first of all, if you hear the BRICS have actually issued their new currency, that's the time to take immediate action. And the other sign would be inflation just soaring through the roof, growing through hyperinflation. So if the BRICS do a new currency, right away you should try to get some of it. Now, I don't know how you're going to do that. See, I don't know anybody who lives in any of the BRIC countries, so I wouldn't be able to get it. Maybe you could do an exchange at the bank and get some of the currency in the very beginning. But I think the U.S. would ban that currency very soon because it would be competing with the dollar, and they wouldn't want us to buy it. But you know of all these countries that you hear, Venezuela, for example, and when their currencies have started to decline and going through hyperinflation, that they use the dollar for trade. Well, I think that's going to happen here if the BRICS ever get their currency. It's going to be sort of a black market in that currency. And you can expect that none of the big stores, the Walmarts, the Amazons, anything like that would take it, but only the smaller stores that would probably take the BRIC currency and just say no dollars, because a dollar wouldn't be worth anything. But of course, as soon as this happens, this would be the excuse to bring in the digital currency, which the U.S. is really dying to do, to get that digital currency. They could blame it all on the BRIC currency, and they could then bring that in. Not that that would be worth any more than the dollar, but it would probably happen. So in the very beginning, you might be able to trade dollars for the BRIC currency, although I don't know who would take a dollar for the BRIC currency, because the dollar wouldn't be worth anything, but the BRICs could be exchanged for gold. The other thing you might do is buy some gold and trade it for some BRICs. Don't turn the video off now saying, oh, I can't afford gold. Well, actually, you can afford gold now. Previously, if you bought a gold coin, the smallest gold coin, I believe, is 1/10 of an ounce. And if gold is selling at, let's just say, $2,000 for a round amount, 1/10 of an ounce would be $200. And that's kind of hard for most people to come up with, $200 for one coin. But now they have these new gold backs. And I kept calling them gold bucks. I think that's a better name. But they're gold backs. And you can get 1/1000th of an ounce of gold. And 1/1000th of $2,000 would mean it's $2. So that's affordable. Although you're not going to pay $2, you've got to pay the premium. So let's say $4. I mean, it's not going to be double, but it's going to be pretty close. So for $4, you could get 1/1000th of an ounce of gold. And it's really kind of neat. It's 2 pieces of plastic or polymer or something like that together, and there's that 1/1000th of an ounce of gold inside or in the plastic. I'm not sure which. I don't know if you could tear it apart and try to get the gold out, but there must be some way to get the gold out. So you actually have gold in your possession. 1/1000th of an ounce. I think you can get 1/100th of an ounce and some various denominations. And what they're doing, you could barter with it. It would be really something that you should give up a few of your coffees. Coffee's probably now about $3 a cup if you buy it out. Give up some of that coffee and buy some gold backs instead. If the digital currency comes about, you could barter with these gold backs. That would be good. And right now, there's 3 states that are accepting them: New Hampshire, Utah, and Wyoming. So I went online to the Goldback website, and I looked at the businesses that were accepting them in New Hampshire. And there are quite a few businesses that are now accepting these Goldbacks. There were a couple pizza places, a couple restaurants, construction company, barber shop, some place selling heating oil, a farm stand, a general store, and that was just the beginning. There were quite a few that would use Goldbacks. So you might want to think, if you hear of a new BRIC currency, get some Goldbacks. Maybe you should start buying a few right now. If you see hyperinflation, inflation going through the roof, get some Goldbacks. They might be something. I know it's hard, but there must be something that you could give up to buy that. I was going to buy a couple and then go to a coin shop and see if they would take them, just to see, just to make sure. I haven't done that yet, but maybe I'll video it when I do it. That might be something interesting. Let us know in the comments if you have anything to say about the BRIC currency that could be coming into effect. Now, I don't know how long it's going to be. It could be tomorrow, could be 10 years from now before it happens. But I really think it's closer than we think. But I think hyperinflation is closer than we think. So let us know in the comments what you think. And if you haven't subscribed, I really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.